We have Caden Kitler joining us, starting center for the Hogs. We'll go straight to questions. We'll start over on the right side, third row.
Abby Miller with a reflector from Mississippi State. You're going into your second season with Arkansas. What has this coaching staff done with you to help you succeed at this competitive level?
Yeah, when you have a new coaching staff, it's all about, getting acclimated to everything. So, the transition was really smooth. They brought a whole new culture in, so I'm just really excited to play football with them. I've been wanting to play for Coach Silverfield for a long time now, so it's cool that we can do it at Arkansas.
Second row.
Leo Haggerty, Ampto Sports Draft Nation here in Tampa. Obviously, at the top of your goals are all team goals, but what individual goals do you want to meet so those team goals are successful?
Yeah, I'm just trying to be the best player I can be every snap. So, one of my personal goals that I've had for a while is to win the Remington Trophy. It's the best center in college football. So, I've been working real hard this offseason to, be the best player I can be for my team, and, hopefully that'll come in turn.
Third row on the left.
Yeah, hey, Caden. Evan Kamiko, News 9 in Oklahoma City. You played last season with Marion Harris in the offensive line room. What stood out to you about him and his makeup as he heads to OU?
Yeah, he's a super athletic guy, real flexible, can play any position on the line. I don't know if he can snap the ball, though, so, maybe he worked on that in the offseason, but he's a great guy. Y'all are going to like him.
Third row on the right.
After spending your 3 seasons at UCF and creating those bonds, what was kind of the deciding factor in transferring to Arkansas?
Yeah, so I'm from Texas originally, so I just kind of wanted to get a little closer to home, help my family get to a little more games. So went on visits to SMU, Arkansas, Mississippi State, and, I just fell in love with Arkansas's culture and, just everything they stand for. So,
what stands out about the Arkansas culture? Your coach kind of talked about it a little bit. What stands out to you?
I think the biggest thing is just all Arkansas has is the Razorbacks. So, we're not just representing the university while being here. We're representing the whole state. So that's real cool about Arkansas.
Fourth row on the aisle.
Hey, Caden, Ethan Westerman, Whole Hog Sports. Coach said yesterday that, y'all go back 6 years, so when you took an OV to Memphis. Just what stood out about him then, and how's he maybe a little different now?
Yeah, he's a real high-energy guy. He's super serious, so I like that. But main reason that I wanted to get coached by him is because he's an offensive line guy. So I knew I was going to be getting developed at a high level, getting coached at a high level too.
Second row.
Justin Patrick, Fox Sports Radio out of Pensacola, Florida. You guys are clearly not the most talked about team here at SEC Media Days. For you guys and for your locker room, how are you guys trying to put Arkansas back on the map here in the SEC? Yeah, well, we use, being the underdog as a chip on our shoulder. So, every day that we see we're ranked last or whatever we're ranked, we use that as motivation. Every workout, every OTA we do. And, that's really helping us get through the offseason, and we're so excited to play football this year. It's not even funny.
Fourth row on the left.
Hi, Caden. Jacob Worthing, KRUI Sports. As the center, you're responsible for identifying at the front and setting protections. When a defense disguises pressure before the snap, what are the first things you're looking for to make sure that everyone is on the same page?
Yeah, the safeties give it away a lot, so I'm looking on, or I've been working a lot on this offseason on reading safety rotations and all that pre-snap. So, hopefully that's going to come in big time during the season. But, yeah, really just communication is the biggest thing. So as long as we're all on the same page, if we're all wrong, we're right. So as long as we're all doing the same thing and nobody's straying away doing their own thing, we should be pretty good.
Left side, second row.
Let's move ahead to a Saturday in September in Fayetteville. You're standing in the tunnel. Everybody's yelling pig suey at Reynolds Stadium. Going to get goosebumps?
Absolutely. This is my last year. Super thankful I get to play it at Arkansas. So, running through that A is like nothing else. I can't wait to hear the fans, like you said, calling the Hogs. So, I'm going to take every moment this last year in and hold it in my heart forever.
Third row.
Every player says they take it week by week. They're excited for each game. But going into your senior year and only your second year in this conference, which SEC team are you most excited to play that you haven't seen yet?
That I haven't seen? I think Georgia. Georgia's going to be a good challenge for us. They've won a lot of national championships, so it's going to be a real good challenge for us. They got a real good D-line, so, we're going to have fun that game. Being in Fayetteville, of course.
Fourth row, left side.
Being a lineman, bigger set guy, I'm curious, what's the go-to Waffle House order for Caden Kitler?
Go-to Waffle House. I get the sausage, egg, and cheese hash brown bowl, but add gravy on top. Some fat stuff.
You know, the second row.
I'm salivating just hearing that. I'm ready to go to lunch. When you look at what's happening at Arkansas, everybody talks about culture, but explain what culture at Arkansas is right now.
Yeah, right now, you know, what Coach Silverfield is just establishing that winning culture. Like, we want to win in everything we do, so we're always competing on and off the field. We compete in football, workouts, nutrition. We compete in academics. So, you know, that's the whole War on the Hill thing. I don't know if y'all have heard about that, but we get teams, and these teams are helping us communicate and get to know other position groups better. So, you know, I got linebackers, I got DBs, I got receivers on my team. So, you know, it's cool venturing out, getting to know my defense, and, you know, that's real helping the culture a lot. And, yeah, we're excited to play as a closer team this year.
Fourth row.
Only been at Arkansas a couple years, but to already have, you know, the respect among your teammates, coaches, to be somebody to be selected at this event, just what did that mean to you?
Oh, it's a huge honor. You know, Coach Silverfield called me in his office to tell me, and I thought I was in trouble at first. So it was good to hear that he was bringing me to this. So, you know, it's a huge honor. I'm super thankful for him for bringing me along to this. And, yeah, I'm just super honored to be representing, you know, the state of Arkansas here.
Second row.
Being an O lineman at Arkansas, the story of Brandon Burlesworth, how much is that intertwined in the culture, especially when it comes to your position specifically, and what effect does that really have on you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just goes to show that you can do anything if you put your mind to it. So, you know, I remember watching Grader when I was younger, before I even started playing football, I think. So, you know, it's a great movie, it's a great story, and, you know, we're just super thankful to have people like that in our program history.
Front row.
Trevor Denton with Way 31. Does your head coach have aura? What do you think about that?
Does my head coach have aura? I think so. I like to think so. You see him on the back right there. But, yeah, no, we love Coach Silverfield, and, you know, he's an awesome person, and he gets us fired up. So I'd like to think he has some good positive aura, if you will.
Why is it among position groups, offensive linemen are usually the most interesting and fun guys to talk with?
I don't know. I think, you know, a big personality comes with our big guts, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But, yeah, I think we just have good personalities as a whole unit.
You started your last 22 consecutive games spanning 2 schools. Is that a point of pride for you?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think it just goes to show how much I put into, you know, my physical health, as well as, you know, just game plan, game prep, and all that. So, you know, I'm big on keeping my body right, because you can't play 12 games in a row without, you know, doing something to your body.
Left side.
The war in the trenches is not for the faint of heart. I'm not going to ask you the verbiage that goes back and forth, but how important is it to be that most physical guy there?
Yeah, and I don't know if I can say the verbiage that goes back and forth on the microphone right now, but yeah, no, I think, like you said, the war in the trenches, it does go back and forth. You know, being the most physical guy, that's what I try to be every single day in practice, every single game. So, you know, that's huge. I think if people see me being physical, they're going to follow in suit. So I'm a big leader by example kind of guy, and, you know, that's big when we get an inside run versus our D-line. So,
Final question on the right.
Last season, Arkansas was Jeff Levy's first conference win in his 2 seasons at Mississippi State. What was kind of the locker room and the vibe after that big loss?
Yeah, I think the amount of penalties that we had definitely had something to do with that loss. So, I mean, just how it is after every loss, you know, drained. You know, we worked that whole week just to lose. And, you know, for that day, we were drained. But, you know, next day we were right back on track for the next game. So, you know, that's something we've been emphasizing a lot in the offseason. It's just being the cleanest team in college football, you know, protecting the ball and not getting penalties.
Caden, great job. We can see why you're a starter. Thanks very much.
Thank you.